Alright, Karina baby, for the 14th of September, The Little Fish, from A Year Full of Stories. There was once a little fish who lived in a big river that swished and swirled its way to the sea. All day the little fish swam and fed along the rocky river bank. He played, chased with his brothers, and leapt fishy leaps over the waterfall. At night he slept, tired and content, in a clasp of reeds. The little fish would have gone on living happily in this way, but he met a mischievous rat swimming near the river bank. The rat dared the little fish to be more adventurous. "Swim to the sea," he said. "Life is much more exciting there." The little fish decided to go at once, even though his brothers tried to stop him. "The sea is a dangerous place," they warned. But the little fish wouldn't listen. He flipped his tail and was off, skimming through the water. He swam all day and all night. The river got wider and wider until the little fish found himself in the sea. The water tasted very salty. Soon, huge waves swept him far away from the river. "What an adventure," thought the little fish, feeling a tiny bit afraid. Way out where the sea was deep, the little fish swam. Lots of other fish. The little fish saw lots of other fish. There were small, striped ones swimming in schools, and strange round fish that looked like balloons. Suddenly the enormous shark swam by with snapping jaws. The little fish darted off as fast as he could. He was swimming so quickly he didn't see the net. A gigantic fishing net was spread out under the wave, swooping up hundreds of silver, flapping fish. The little fish swam right into it, and he was hauled into the boat. "Oh, what an adventure!" cried the little fish, gasping for air. Then the fisherman noticed him and laughed. "You're much too little to eat," he said, and he threw the little fish back into the sea. Splash! After that, the little fish swam back to the river as fast as he could. "No more adventures for me," he said. Oh, he got caught by a fisherman. He got thrown back to sea because he was lucky. And that was it. He swam back to his little river and he was done. No more adventures for him. Life is nothing but an adventure, though, baby. It really is. Alright. Today's story is, the bronze ring. Let's see what this one's all about. Once upon a time, in a certain country, there lived a king whose palace surrounded by a spacious garden. And though the gardens were many and the soil was good, this garden yielded neither flowers nor fruit, not even grass nor shady trees. The king was in despair about it. When a wise old man said to him, "Your gardeners do not understand their business, but what can you expect of men whose fathers were cobblers and carpenters? How could they have learned to garden?" "You are quite right," cried the king. "Therefore," continued the old man, "send for the gardener whose father is the grandfathers have been gardeners before him. Soon your garden will be full of green grass and gay flowers, so happy flowers, and you will enjoy its delicious fruit." So the king sent message to every town, village, and hamlet in his dominion to look for a gardener whose forefathers had been gardeners also. And after 40 days, one was found. "Come with us and be gardener to the king," the messenger said to him. "How can I go to the king?" asked the gardener. "A poor wretch like me?" "That is of consequence," they answered. "That is of no consequence," they answered. "Here are new clothes for you and your family." "But I owe money to several people." "We will pay your debts," they said. So he allowed himself to be persuaded, and he went away with the messengers, taking his wife and his son with him. The king, delighted to have found a real gardener, entrusted him with the care of his gardens. The man found no difficulty in making the royal garden produce flowers and fruits, and at the end of the year The park was a mass of glowing colors. In gratitude, the king showered gifts upon his new servants. The gardener's son was a very handsome young man, with most agreeable manners. Every day he carried the best fruit from the garden to the king, and all the loveliest flowers to his daughter. Now the princess, who was wonderfully pretty, was just 16 years old, and the king was beginning to think it was time she should be married. "My dear child," said he, "you are of an age to take a husband. Therefore I am asking of marrying you to the son of my prime minister." "Father," replied the princess, "I will never marry the son of the minister." "Why not?" asked the king. "Because I love the gardener's son," answered the princess. On hearing this, the king was at first very angry, and then he wept and sighed, and declared that the gardener's son was not worthy of his daughter. But the young princess was not to be persuaded to change her mind, so the king consulted his minister. "This is what you must do," they said. "To get rid of the gardener, you must send both suitors to a far distant country. The one who returns first shall marry your daughter." The king followed the advice. The minister's son was presented with a splendid horse and a full purse of gold pieces, while the gardener's son had only an old lame horse and a purse full of copper money. And everyone thought he would never come back from his hopeless journey. The day before he started, the princess met the gardener's son and said to him, "Be brave and remember always that I love you. Take this purse full of jewels and make the best use you can of them for love of me. Then come home again quickly and ask my father for my hand." The two suitors left the town together, but the minister's son went off at a gallop, and his good horse, and very soon was lost to sight behind the distant hills. He traveled on for some time, and for some days, and presently reached a fountain beside which an old woman, all in rags, sat upon a stone. "Good day to you, young traveler," she said. But the minister's son made no reply. "Have pity upon me, traveler," she said again. "I am dying of hunger. As you can see, 3 days I have been here, and no one has given me anything." "Let me alone, old witch," cried the young man. "I can do nothing for you." And so saying, he went on his way. That same evening the gardener's son rode up to the fountain upon the lame gray horse. "Good day to you, my young traveler," said the beggar woman. "Good day, good woman," answered he. "Young traveler, have pity upon me." "Take my purse, good woman," said he, "and if you wish, ride behind me on my horse, for your legs cannot be very strong." The old woman did not wait to be asked twice, but mounted behind him. And in this style they reached the chef's city of the powerful kingdom. The minister's son was lodged in a great inn, but the gardener's son and the old woman dismounted and for the inn for beggars. Next day the gardener's son heard a great noise in the street, and the king's heralds passed below all kinds of instruments and cried, "The king, our master, is old and infirm. He will give a great reward to whoever can cure him and give him back the strength of his youth." Then the old beggar woman said to her benefactor, "This is what you must do to obtain the reward which the king promises. Go out of the town by the south gate, and there you will find 3 dogs in different colors. The first will be white, the second black, and the third red. You must kill them, burn them separately, and gather up their ashes. Put the ashes of each dog into a bag of its own color. Then go before the door of the palace and cry out, a celebrated physician has come from Genoa in Albania. He also can cure the king and give him back the strength of his youth. The king's physician will say, 'This is an impostor and not a learned man,' and they will make all sorts of difficulties, but you will overcome them at last and will present yourself before the king. You must then demand as much wood as their mules can carry, and a great cauldron to shut yourself up in the room with the king. When the cauldron boils, throw him into it and leave him there until his flesh is completely separated from his bones. Then arrange the bones in their proper place and throw over them the ashes of the 3 bags. The king will come back to life and will be just as he was when he was 20 years old. For your reward, demand the bronze ring which he has the power to grant everything you desire. Go, my son, and do not forget any of my instructions. The young man followed the old woman's directions. On going out of the town, he found the white, red, and black dogs. Just as he said, he killed and burned them, gathered up the ashes into 3 bags, white, red, and black. Then he ran to the palace and cried, a celebrated physician has just come from Genoa in Albania. He alone could cure the king and give him back the strength of his youth. The physician at first was laughed at the unknown wayfarer, but the king ordered that the stranger be admitted. The gardener's son asked the servants to bring a great cauldron and 3 loads of wood, and very soon the king was boiling away. Alright, Karina baby. I'm actually really tired. I shouldn't be doing this at night. But we're going to start this back up tomorrow. So let's do Lila Toe and good night to you. Lila Toe, may your dreams come true. We sing Lila Tove, may Israel protect you throughout the night until we reach the morning light. Karina baby, I miss you and I love you and I can't wait to see you. I'm gonna go to sleep tonight and I'm gonna dream about you. I'm gonna dream about you a lot. I'm holding you in my arms and I wake up and I start crying though because I don't have you in my arms right here, right now. But I will. I will. I love you and I miss you and I can't wait to see you. I love you, my angel.